Chapter 1. The Iron Gate. As the heavy iron gate of Evergreen Correctional Facility clanks shut behind them, a thick silence envelops the new arrivals. The soundscape crackles with tension, metal clanging, distant shouts, and the shuffle of feet on concrete echo through the corridors. Each inmate enters with their own story, their own burdens, reflecting the weight of choices that led them here. In this opening chapter, listeners are introduced to the haunting yet intriguing world of Evergreen. Brief snippets from Jimmy, Maria, and Ethan tease their struggles and aspirations, weaving a tapestry of lives intersecting at this crossroad of despair and hope. Amid the cold walls, glimmers of humanity begin to emerge, hinting at the deeper narratives that will unfold. As the atmosphere thickens with emotion, the stage is set for an intimate exploration of resilience, a journey that will challenge perceptions and inspire empathy for those behind iron bars. Chapter 2. The Artist's Resurgence. The soft sound of a pencil gliding over paper, the rustle of sketchbooks, and the distant clanging of metal doors. Jimmy Carter's voice breaks through the silence, his tone tinged with vulnerability as he recalls his first days at Evergreen Correctional Facility. When I stepped through those iron gates, I felt my identity slip away, another forgotten soul behind bars, he writes. But art has always been his refuge, a sanctuary in stormy seas. With each stroke of his pencil, memories of freedom flood back, carefree days spent lost in creation at the easel. Creating becomes a lifeline, he reflects, sharing glimpses of his journey from a once promising artist to an inmate seeking redemption. He dreams of igniting that spark in others, believing that art can heal wounds and bridge the gaps of despair. As he sketches, the prison walls begin to feel less confining, hinting at hope buried beneath layers of regret. Chapter 3. A Mother's Heart. Maria Torres sits on the edge of her bunk, her thoughts swirling like the flickering light above. Her diary entry begins with a raw account of her first days in Evergreen Correctional Facility. The cold, sterile walls seem to echo her fears. She longs for the warmth of her daughter's embrace. As she writes, Maria reflects on the desperate moment that brought her here, a choice born of necessity that now weighs heavy on her heart. Throughout her recollections, the sound of a distant phone ring punctuates her memories, reminding her of the precious calls home. Each conversation with her daughter becomes a lifeline, a reminder of what she's fighting for. Maria's words convey resilience and fierce love, painting a picture of a mother determined to bridge the gap between prison bars and family ties. She knows that the path to redemption involves harder work than ever, but the thought of her daughter's smile keeps her moving forward. Chapter 4. The Cycle of Despair. Ethan Clay's diary entry opens with a haunting reflection on his upbringing, a life marked by chaos and vulnerability. I didn't choose this path. It was laid out for me, he writes, his emotions laid bare as he navigates the tumultuous memories of his past. The sound of dripping water echoes in the background, amplifying his feelings of isolation. He recalls the influence of his environment, friends who made choices that seemed enticing but ultimately destructive. As he wrestles with his identity, Ethan details the internal conflict that gnaws at him. Am I a product of my choices, or just a victim of circumstance? The dim sounds of his surroundings create an atmosphere heavy with tension. Through heartfelt musings, he expresses a burning desire to break the cycle of despair that has trapped him and yearns for a chance at redemption. Each word resonates, illuminating the complexities of his journey towards self-discovery. Chapter 5. Art as Escape. The classroom buzzes with a nervous energy as Jimmy Carter stands before a group of fellow inmates, art supplies spread out on the table. In his diary entry, he writes about the transformative power of creativity that flourishes within the walls of Evergreen. For some, these drawings represent freedom, he reflects, his pencil gliding over paper as he guides his classmates through the fundamentals of sketching. The sounds of laughter intermingle with the rhythmic scratching of pencils, creating a symphony of release from their harsh reality. One inmate shares his piece, a haunting self-portrait that reveals layers of pain and hope. Art isn't just a hobby here. It's our lifeline, another echoes, visibly moved by his expression. As Jimmy encourages them to channel their emotions onto the canvas, he realizes that through their shared stories and creations, they are beginning to forge bonds of empathy and understanding, an escape into a world where their voices are heard. Chapter 6. Bonds of Sisterhood. As Maria sits in the common area, she reflects on the unexpected friendships she has formed with fellow inmates. Each day, they gather together for group study sessions, their laughter resonating through the sterile walls of Evergreen. In her diary, Maria writes about how these women, each with their own burdens and regrets, have become her support system, a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. The sound of shuffling papers, muffled conversations, and the warm hum of camaraderie fills the air. Through late-night talks and shared struggles, they empower one another to confront their pasts and strive for a better future. Maria expresses how these bonds fuel her resilience, often sharing dreams of reuniting with her daughter and building a life filled with love and purpose. Uplifting music gently underscores the chapter, mirroring the hope that blooms even in the harshest conditions, a testament to the strength of sisterhood behind bars. Chapter 7. Facing the Past. Ethan Clay sits in the therapeutic circle, the tension palpable in the room. His diary entry begins with raw honesty, detailing a childhood marred by neglect and violence, emotions swirling within him like a storm. "I never thought I would end up here," he writes, his voice steady yet filled with emotion, "but every decision I made led me closer to these iron bars." As he speaks, the sound of a ticking clock fills the background, amplifying his sense of urgency. In the therapy session, he confronts the shadows of his past, sharing painful memories that haunt him. "I want to break the cycle," Ethan confides, tears threatening to spill. The echoes of fellow inmates offer camaraderie and reflection. They share their struggles too, creating a bond forged in vulnerability. The session ends with a moment of silence, leaving Ethan with the hope of self-acceptance and redemption, the faint heartbeat of possibility echoing within him. Chapter 8. Balancing Justice and Compassion. As the sun casts long shadows across Evergreen Correctional Facility, Warden Sarah Jenkins reflects on her dual role as both enforcer and healer. In her diary entry, she grapples with the weight of her responsibilities. "Every day I confront the stark realities of incarceration," she writes, her voice laced with empathy. But it's the stories of these inmates that carry the deepest impact. She wanders the halls, hearing laughter echoing from the art room and tensions simmer in the therapy sessions, feeling the pulse of humanity among the iron bars. The distant shuffle of guard footsteps punctuates her thoughts, a reminder of the precarious balance she must maintain between security and compassion. "I must uphold justice," she concludes, "yet I believe in the possibility of redemption." Her narrative intertwines with ambient sounds, a radio crackling in the command center, the clanging of cell doors, embodying the complexity of her role in a system that demands both order and understanding. Chapter 9. The Art Showcase. The air buzzes with anticipation as Evergreen Correctional Facility transforms for its first ever inmate-organized art showcase. Jimmy Carter, beaming with pride, stands at the forefront, guiding fellow inmates through the final preparations. The walls are adorned with vibrant paintings and intricate sketches, each piece a testament to resilience and creativity. As the evening unfolds, the blend of laughter and applause fills the hall, echoing the undeniable camaraderie among the inmates and the guards who have chosen to join in. Muffled conversations and the clanging of metal echo in the background, blending with the soft strumming of guitar strings played by another inmate. Relationships flourish as barriers fade. The art becomes a bridge, sparking conversations that once felt impossible. Jimmy reflects on how this moment encapsulates the struggle and hope of their shared journey, reminding them all that within these iron bars, beauty and connection can still thrive. Chapter 10. Letters from Home. Maria sat on her bunk, the faded photograph of her daughter pinned above it. As she unfolded the crinkled letter, her heart raced. Each word felt like a lifeline, reconnecting her to the love and innocence she feared losing. "Mommy, I miss you," it began, conjuring images of joyful memories, their shared laughter, bedtime stories, and the warmth of their embrace. With each line, Maria's emotional struggle deepened. She pondered the sacrifices she had made and the choices that led her here. The muffled sounds of the prison echoed around her, but the letter created a sanctuary filled with love. As she read about her daughter's school adventures and dreams, tears streamed down her face. Soft piano music underscored her reflections, embodying the bittersweet nature of their separation. Maria promised herself that these letters would fuel her resolve to change, offering hope not just for herself, but for their future together. Chapter 11. Breaking the Cycle. Ethan Clay sits alone in his cell, the dim light casting long shadows that reflect his inner turmoil. His diary entry begins with the weight of self-reflection, acknowledging the painful reality of his past choices. "I used to think I was destined for this life," he writes, grappling with the memories of his upbringing and the toxic influences that led him astray. But now, through therapy, he feels a flicker of hope. As he recounts his sessions, the sounds of the therapy room, the rustle of papers, the gentle hum of the air conditioning, accentuate his journey towards self-awareness. "I want to break free from this cycle," Ethan confesses, his voice quaking with vulnerability. He dreams of a future where he can redirect his life, away from crime and toward a path of purpose. The persistent ticking of a clock echoes in the background, symbolizing his urgency for change and the new life that awaits outside these iron bars. Chapter 12. The Human Side of Punishment. Warden Sarah Jenkins sits in her office, reflecting on the complexities that define her role at Evergreen Correctional Facility. "Every inmate has a story," she begins in her diary entry, a blend of compassion and frustration evident in her voice. She recalls her interactions with Jimmy, whose art has transformed under the fluorescent lights of their shared space, and with Maria, whose fierce love for her daughter reminds Sarah of the bonds that hold families together. As the sounds of clanging metal bars echo through the hallways, Jenkins grapples with the balance between discipline and empathy. "It's easy to see them as just inmates," she admits, "but they're people trying to survive in a world that often dehumanizes them." The ambient noise of distant conversations and the rhythmic shuffle of guards underscore her determination to promote rehabilitation. Sarah's insights reveal the profound impact these individuals have had on her understanding of justice, urging listeners to reconsider their perceptions of incarceration. Chapter 13. From Darkness to Light. In this poignant concluding chapter, we revisit the evolving lives of our main characters as they emerge from the shadows of their pasts. Jimmy Carter, once defined by his mistakes, now stands proudly beside his stunning artwork, which has begun to adorn the walls of Evergreen. The laughter of fellow inmates fills the air as they celebrate the creativity that transcends their circumstances. Maria Torres, with her newfound academic achievements, reflects on her growth, vowing to reshape her future for the sake of her daughter. Her heart swells with hope as she envisions the day they will reunite. Meanwhile, Ethan Clay shares his therapeutic breakthroughs, articulating dreams that feel within reach for the first time. A gentle ticking clock underscores his urgency to break free from the cycle of despair. As their stories intertwine under the watchful eyes of both inmates and guards, the atmosphere buzzes with renewed hope, a symphony of redemption resonating through Evergreen.